What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of F This Review, and tonight I'm reviewing Marvin Gaye, Here, My Dear. This has been a request for a minute, so I'm sorry that it took me so long to get to it. I know this one's been a request since I did What's Going On. I did a review on Adele's 21 album. I thought no album embodied a breakup more than Adele's 21 until I heard Marvin Gaye's Here, My Dear. This album is strictly how can I put it into words? It's too vivid. You ever catch a couple arguing and you just feel like third party embarrassment? Like I shouldn't even be here. I shouldn't even be listening to this. That's how I felt listening to this Marvin Gaye album. And doing some back research on it, obviously he had a divorce with Berry Gordy's sister, and in a divorce she was entitled to a portion or a good portion of his money from his recordings and new albums and things of that nature. And he went in making this album. He was gonna make like just some bullshit, but it ended up being the most therapeutic, probably most personal Marvin Gaye album, critically acclaimed, that he's ever put out. This album is for him, to me, in retrospect, I guess. Every artist has that one when they gotta it's anti everything, that there's no singles, there's no commercial. It's like anti-commercial. This is just the real artist, me. And he also had to pay her $1 million, which probably was crazy in the 70s. Album came out in 1978, recorded, they say here, who knows if this is true, but from 1977 through 1978, just the beginning of July it ended. The album is over an hour, which I think is also, when I get to the cons aspect of the album, I'll mention that. But let's get into it. I want to go through some of the songs on here. The album starts with Here, My Dear, which is, it sets everything up for what's to come. And another thing I noticed about this album, the way even him starting and saying, well, I guess this album is dedicated to you, through all the shit, and I guess her using her son as a weapon and tool in the breakup, which, I don't know her side of the story, so I can't full-heartedly believe that in a way. I also thought, when I read that it wasn't so well received in the time that it came out in, listening to it, I thought, well, I could see that, because it also reminds me of a spoken word kind of album. He's barely rhyming. It's a lot of just thought flow, in which I thought made the album cool. So even him starting the album with the title track Here, My Dear, and it's more to me like a spoken word to me, more than singing. That's just me. That was just my opinion. Feel free to comment below. I Met a Little Girl, where he describes the whole relationship and how it started to how it ended, and how he throws in certain years of, I think it was 1970, or he'll throw in ad-lib certain years to indicate how things started so beautifully but ended so wicked. Which I thought was just dope. When Did You Stop Loving Me? When Did I Stop Loving You? Is one of those songs that I think for anyone who's, especially people who've been through a divorce, I could see, or just, I hate to minimalize divorce, because I think it's way stronger than a breakup, but let's say people in a long-term relationship, that song is something that I think both sides will understand. That feeling of, oh, maybe this is over, It's a tough pill to swallow. It's probably even tougher to write about it, especially going through it. And I learned that he also was in the midst of the divorce, he married someone else, which is crazy, which is probably why she went as hard as she did to get so much. Just that pain and emotion on both sides. Speaking of pain, the next song, Anger, which you hear him getting out his gripes. You could tell Marvin Gaye was very angry. You could tell he was very angry at the things he had to give up. Not only the material things, but the love that he had for this person that he thought, like he said, we would be together forever type. But everybody says that. But just to lose that, when the person you love feels like they're destroying, when it feels like the person you love is destroying you purposely. That's what I want to say. Even the song titles, Anger, Is That Enough? Everybody Needs Love. Everybody Needs Love, I thought was a random song to just throw in here. I get it kind of with the concept, but it seemed so, it seemed random. Let me know in the comments if I'm the only one who thought that. Time to Get It Together. Sparrow. Sing, little sparrow, sing. I let that song play earlier and I forgot it was on. Like, I was like, oh shit, this is I Want You to Sing. Like, it was still on. It was still on. Great song. And a song, which is, if everything else wasn't dedicated to her already, he made a song fully dedicated to her. To have the reprise of When Did You Stop Loving Me and When Did I Stop Loving You again, Anna's the last song on here. A Funky Space Reincarnation is another one I thought was pretty random as well. You Can Leave, but What's It Gonna Cost You is a crazy title plus song. Like I mentioned, this whole thing, what did that freedom and love loss actually cost you? For him, it felt like it cost him like it was a big blow. To everyone it should be if this is the divorce, right? And then to come back right after that with Falling in Love Again, which I think he should have just left as the last song, like to cap off the story. This is the perfect way to do it, just because he found new love, which was rather quick. But who am I to judge? Which he found new love, and it just seems like a flower grew from the dirt on that one. So I feel like it could have ended right there. Some cons I did have. Production wise, I think a lot of the production wasn't there for me, especially being a Marvin Gaye album. I'm used to like he had it in here. What's the like the classics 3 6 Mafia sample that they got from this album. So it is some rhythm and some type of bounce to the beat, but I'm used to Marvin Gaye just a little bit more on the production side, just a little bit more lively in a way, which obviously you can't really be lively on an album dedicated to your newly found divorced wife. So that's a nitpick. Another thing, like I mentioned earlier, 14 songs, about 70 minutes, I think is a little bit too long, because throughout he started reiterating certain topics and literally saying something that he said in this song that he said in the song prior to it. So it became like, my pet peeve with albums sometimes is that, especially albums that's conceptually telling a story, you start to retell the story again. Like the artist couldn't pick which song to tell that story, so they just put both on there. And I don't really like that. Some of my favorite songs, Here My Dear, obviously. I like Anger. I like Sparrow. I think those are my top 3. I have to reiterate what I said before. I think this album, there's certain albums I wish I was alive during, but this album, I feel like it's the artist one that he needed. People complain when it came out, but in retrospect and in history, look how impactful it is in his discography and in life. Anytime you get one of those, you just gotta tip your hat to it, and just be grateful as a fan, And Marvin Gaye's DC Zone, and I'm from DC, so you know what it is. I'm a little biased. Let me know in the comments what you think of Marvin Gaye's Here My Dear. What's some of your favorite songs on here? Give me your top 3. Where do you rank this album in the fleet of breakup albums? Where does it rank? Is it top 5? Like, what is this sit next to? It's this, it's Adele, it's Miseducation. It's a lot, but let me know in the comments, where do you rank this one? And also let me know some albums you want me to check out. I'm always screenshotting your comments and just to have in my memory bank, so continue to do that. As always, I'm Tatum. F this review. Peace.